Hey everyone, my name is Derek Pasalakwa, and today I want to share a story with you. It's about my journey and how I stumbled upon this incredible opportunity that completely changed the way that I look at financial freedom and wealth building. So just a few years ago, I was pretty much like anyone else, working a 9 to 5, earning an okay salary, but somehow I always found myself struggling with finances. And towards the end of the month, debt was piling up. Savings were pretty much non-existent, and the stress, let's just say it was overwhelming. I knew I needed to change, but I didn't know where to start. That's when I hit a real low point in my life. I remember one evening I was sitting at my kitchen table, surrounded by bills, feeling utterly defeated. The anxiety was palpable, and it seemed like no matter how hard I worked, I just couldn't get ahead financially. It was terrible. And that feeling of being stuck in an endless cycle of paycheck to paycheck living was absolutely crushing. And then something happened one day when I was with a friend. It was something that was completely foreign to me at the time, and it was called the infinite banking concept. So a friend of mine that was very financially successful had gave me a book by a gentleman named R. Nelson Nash, the late R. Nelson Nash now. And the book was called Becoming Your Own Banker. And it talked about money and building wealth and financial freedom in a completely new and different way that was unlike anything I'd ever heard before. Initially, I was super skeptical if I'm being completely honest, because how could something that I'd never ever heard of or never seen or heard really anyone even talk about before, how could it be the answer and solve all my financial problems? Just didn't seem real. And not to mention some of the claims that Nelson made in the book, well, it seemed a little bit too good to be true. But as I dove a little deeper into the book and studied and researched what I'd read, one day I was reading a part I had already read probably 10 or 12 times. Okay, I remember reading a line, and I'd read it, like I said, several times before and never paid any attention. But for whatever reason, this particular day I was paying very close attention. Because I felt like there was something I was just missing or just not getting, because it just didn't make complete sense. It was like something, I had a missing piece. There was something that just wasn't clicking for me, and I just needed to just keep reviewing, because I just knew if I could find that missing piece that this would all start to make sense to me. So as I read the words that I'm about to share with you, it was like a light bulb finally went off in my brain, and it completely changed everything for me in a way I never could have even imagined. The words I read went something like this. Nelson said, the very first principle that must be understood is that you finance everything you buy. You either pay interest to someone else, like a bank, or you give up the ability to earn interest. I believe the exact quote is, the very first principle that must be understood is that you finance everything you buy. You either pay interest to someone else, or you give up the interest you could have earned otherwise. When I read those words on this particular day, I finally got it. It all made sense, and everything actually clicked. I finally understood what he was saying, and everything that I had doubted and wondered about, all of a sudden I had this insane clarity, and it was amazing. This wasn't just about making money or cutting expenses. It was about a complete paradigm shift, about transforming the way money works for me and the way that I actually approached and viewed money. The more I learned, the more I realized that this was it. This was the opportunity that I actually did need, not just to get out of debt, but to build wealth in a way that felt almost effortless compared to what I was used to. I learned strategies for leveraging assets I already had, optimizing my expenditures, and even making money work for me while I slept. It was mind-blowing. Fast forward to today, and my financial situation has done a complete 180. I went from drowning in debt to being completely debt-free and building wealth at a pace I did not think was possible. And the best part, I achieved all of this without having to increase my current income at the time and from just a regular W-2 job. Now, I want to share this opportunity with you. If you're feeling stuck, if you're tired of financial strategies that just don't seem to work, I'm here to tell you that there is another way. And I can show you how. So stick around, because that's exactly what I'm about to dive into. And it could just be the turning point that you too have been looking and waiting for. So let's explore how this could change your life and how this could look. Because looking back, I realized that knowledge was just the beginning. Application was the key. I started small, applying bits and pieces of what I've learned from infinite banking to my daily financial decisions. Gradually, as I gained some confidence, I implemented more complex strategies, always monitoring and adjusting based on my outcomes. One of the most valuable lessons that I learned was about the power of compounding and compound interest, not just in terms of interest, but in knowledge and experience too. So every small win added up over time, and over time, these wins transform my financial landscape. So you may be wondering if this can actually work for you as well, right? I mean, that I would be. Like I said, at the time I was skeptical myself, but I was exactly in your shoes, skeptical but hopeful. And I'm here to tell you, it's not just possible, it's entirely achievable with the right guidance and mindset. See, after this happened to me, I became completely obsessed with learning the ins and outs and just the entire strategy. There were things that I did agree with, and there were things that I didn't necessarily agree with. See, a big part of Nelson's strategy was getting rid of the banks. They were villainized, the banks, and not necessarily what was about, what's the most efficient thing to do. And that's where I kind of took a left. I zigged when he zagged, because I didn't care about the banks. All I cared about was, how the heck can I get out of debt as quick as possible? And how can I start building wealth as quick as possible? And more importantly, as easily and effortlessly as possible, because I didn't want to have to eat beans and rice for the rest of my life just to be able to retire someday and not have to worry. I didn't want to have to sacrifice and tell my wife she couldn't go get her nails done or get a Starbucks because we didn't have the money to do that without feeling guilty. And so I needed a strategy that actually empowered me to feel like I was the one in control. I was the one that had the power, and not the banks, and not the credit card companies, and not the financial gurus that tell you to just basically scrimp by and be miserable and suffer for 10 to 15 years and put your money somewhere where you have zero control over it, where you pay these outrageous fees. That to me was not a strategy. That was more like gambling. And if I wanted to gamble, I could have gone to Vegas. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I was looking for. I felt like what I had been doing was gambling, and I saw where that had gotten me. So I wanted a real strategy where not only was the worst case scenario still a positive, but I wanted some guarantees in place that were actually going to ensure that no matter what happened, there was only one outcome. I didn't want to have a plan B. Now, that sounds like a tall order, and I understand that. And I thought it was not only a tall order at the time, I thought it was completely impossible until I found out that it wasn't. I was listening to a talk the other day by a gentleman on Facebook, and he said something very interesting, and it resonated with me. And he said that it was easier to make $1 million in a week than it was to make $1 million in a year. He said it was easier to make $1 million in a day than it was to make $1 million in a week. And me, like most of the folks he was talking to, were super confused at first. And then he went on to explain that not only could he make it faster, but he could actually make it faster and then make it easier. So he said with less effort and time and energy, he could more easily make the $1 million in a week faster than I could in a year. Because just like how I was looking through the wrong lens this entire time about money and how money worked, it showed that he showed me very quickly that I was also looking at this the wrong way as well. Because oddly enough, once he explained, I agreed. He went on to say that, take, for example, if me and him were both running, and if he was in phenomenal shape, ran every day, but I was severely overweight, never exercised, never ran, couldn't hardly walk 10 feet without getting out of breath, and we were going to race each other, okay? And he said we were going to race 1 mile. Now, who would everybody bet on to win? Well, a guy that's in better shape, of course. But that's because he's running, and they think I'm running, Well, I never said I was going to run that distance. We were going to race and I was going to go that distance. I can go that distance in whatever I would like. So if I go that distance in a car, but he goes the distance on foot, who's going to win? Me. Okay. Well, now take that to anything else. If we're going to race 100 miles, and so now that's not fair. I have a car, so now he gets a car. So now he wins again, unless I have a plane. Well, that's not fair. If I have a plane, he should get a plane. So now he gets a plane, he wins again, unless I have a rocket. And you see the point of this is that it's not about the thing that you're doing. And it's not about, because there's only so many hours you can work in a day. What's much more important to focus your effort and energy on is what's the most efficient way to accomplish the thing. Like, instead of just focusing on it and whatever it is for you, maybe look and focus on, is there a better way to get to that thing, to that desired end result that you want? Because I know for myself, it was a massive, massive paradigm shift. And I know for a lot of others, it can be too, and it's hard. And I want you to know that, like, where you're at right now is not your fault. If you didn't never know that there was a different way, it's a lot of people are in the same position. And many, unfortunately, are not fortunate enough to ever get out of it. And I don't want to see that happen to you, because I've been blessed and fortunate enough to turn my situation around. I want to be able to bless others and help them also do the same thing. So I want you to know one more time, not only is it possible, but it is achievable with the right guidance and mindset. See, the principles of infinite banking aren't just theories. They're practical, actionable strategies that work in the real world. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this with you, because I want to help guide you through the same transformation that I went through myself. And I want to do that by giving you the tools and support that you need to succeed. So whether you're trying to escape from debt, save for your future, build substantial wealth, it all starts with a decision to try something new and different and to have an open mind. So if you're ready to take that first step, I'm here to walk with you. And together we can unlock the whole concept that I now call the Infinite Wealth Blueprint. And we'll unlock its potential, and we're going to set you on a path to financial freedom. So I want you to join me. Click the link below. Let's start building a future where your financial worries are a thing of the past. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to my story today. And I'm inviting you to join a community of people who are empowering each other and empowering themselves to break free from financial stress and worry and anxiety, and to embrace a brighter, wealthier, and healthier future. So click the link below, and I want you to sign up for the Infinite Wealth Blueprint. Let's make your financial goals a reality, because it's your turn to achieve the success that you and your family deserve. Again, I want to thank you for joining me today, taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to me talk for a few minutes. I do appreciate it. I can't wait to hopefully hear from you. Let me know what you thought about the video, and I'm excited to get to meet you and work with you. If you have any questions, you can also feel free to check out our website. There's a couple of them, but the easiest, best one for you probably is mydebtfreeadvantage.com. That's mydebtfreeadvantage.com. You can also check out ultimateacceleratorblueprint.com. That's ultimateacceleratorblueprint.com. Either one of those two websites, you can click on the appointments tab. You can schedule a free strategy session with me and my team. We would be more than happy and honored to sit down with you, spend some time with you, figuring out what are your goals, helping you get that clarity. And whether you work with us or somebody else, we don't care about that. We honestly just enjoy we're fortunate enough to get to do what we do every day, and we love to help people. So, if we can help you, that's great. That's awesome. We would love to do that. But if all we do is help you get some clarity, help you answer a couple of questions, and help your family get to a better, position, spot in life to where you're trying to go, then I consider that a win. I appreciate you taking the time. Like I said, if you want to click the link below this video, a calendar is going to pop up, or a form, one of the two, and you can fill that out. You can book some free time with us. Again, we're not trying to sell you anything crazy. Matter of fact, we're not trying to sell you anything at all. All we're really trying to do is just educate and spread the message, because the more people that know about it, the more people can take advantage of it and hopefully do something amazing and change their life. And I would love nothing more than to hear your success story one day. So thank you again. My name is Derek Passalacqua, CEO of Legacy Guard Financial Group, creator of the Infinite Wealth Blueprint. And remember, until next time, you create your legacy, guard it and protect it.